Hi everyone, welcome to the TalentLMS Manager Role Training. My name is Natalie Mattern and I'm the Learning and Development Specialist here at ECC. And before we dive into TalentLMS, I just want to review our learning and development services that we have available to you as a manager so that you can enhance your employees' learning experience. So what I'd like for you to do is to sign onto EchoNet and just follow along with me. I'll take you through how to access the Learning and Development page. So if you come to the home page in EchoNet, scroll down to Admin up here at the top, and then come all the way down to Learning and Development. Now, just a side note, you can always access TalentLMS here as a shortcut, but right now I would really just like to walk through the Learning and Development suite by clicking here. So let's do that. It's going to ask me to sign in again. Okay, so you can access the Learning and Development page for all your learning needs, and it will be updated regularly. So to the left, just walking through this, we offer Insights Discovery for all of our employees. So if you're not familiar with Insights Discovery, it is a great personal effectiveness tool. It's based in Carl Jung's research, who was a psychologist of the 20th century. We use Insights at ECC to promote leadership development, develop high-performing teams, and really just to create a common language within our organization. So if you are interested in taking the assessment or would like to give your employees the opportunity to take it, just reach out to me and I'll administer the assessment for you and I'll set up a debrief with you and your employees. One thing also, I highly suggest utilizing Insights as a team development tool. So if you want to improve your team's effectiveness, also just please reach out to me and we can discuss how to best approach your team's needs. So if you're interested in learning a little bit more about the methodology, you can always click on this link here. It will take you directly to their site. That wraps up Insights Discovery. Over to the right over here, we have TalentLMS, our online learning management system that houses all of our online content and courses. So you can access TalentLMS by clicking on this link at any time. And if you have a new employee or an employee who is not yet familiar with TalentLMS, you can always direct them to the TalentLMS recorded overview training right here. This is the overview training that we gave at the beginning that just walks you through how to log on to the system. It talks about the your learner dashboard and how that works. So just basically the basics. Also, if you or your employees have any questions regarding TalentLMS, we've recorded all of our questions from the last few months, and those can be accessed right here in the TalentLMS FAQs, the PDF. Of course, you can always reach out to me or the TalentLMS support team by clicking on these two. If you have any questions specifically around our content that we've provided, or if it's issue with the system, you can reach out to their support directly, and they will be getting back to you in 24 hours. So lastly, this PDF here will walk you through logging onto the system, walking your employees through the system, how to download the mobile app, again, just getting set up with the system. So I just want to make you aware that those things are posted here. The other thing I want to make you aware of is I do have a section here for you managers. You will see the TalentLMS Manager Role Instruction Guide posted here, which you should be received an email around. I will also be posting the other documents related to your role in TalentLMS there as well. Now, as a manager, you still need to request course creations. I know that we've got a number of tools to do this, depending on your needs. So if you haven't found anything that you're looking for in TalentLMS, there are some other options to take a look at. So just to walk you through here real quick in the request training, let's say if you want to create a training that's specific to ECC or your team's needs, just send me a request, and what I can do is we can use Articulate 360, or we've got other tools that we can use to create online learning that's compatible for TalentLMS. or we can also develop in-house face-to-face virtual training as well. So we've got those different options to work with. Secondly, if you need to host a virtual training, we do have a platform called GoTrueTraining that we use to provide engaging live training. So if you want to get set up with that, just reach out to me directly as well, and I'll get you set up. Lastly, we have hundreds of courses already in TalentLMS, as I'm sure you're aware of. However, if you can't find what you're looking for, we do have a subscription with over 9,000 courses within our Open Sesame subscription to choose from. So if you want to access the Open Catalog or the Open Sesame Catalog, you can click on the link here at any time. And I just want to kind of quickly walk through this real quick. So it may take a couple seconds to load here, but one thing you want to make sure of when you finally log on to the Open Sesame website is that this Open Sesame Plus button is clicked on. This will give us access to everything that is available to us for free within our subscription below. So let's say I'm a manager and I'm curious and I want to find some content that I couldn't find in TalentLMS on communication. So I would come up here to the top, I would type in communication and click return search. Again, just give the system a couple seconds to load. What's nice about this is it'll give us everything that's associated with that topic that you have up at the top. So you've got all individual courses here. This will tell you the ratings down here, which you can take a look at. And then, of course, the time that it takes to complete those courses, to just give you an idea of how long it would be. So I've got a lot of courses on communication. The other thing that I want to mention up here at the top is what's nice is that they have curated lists based on any given topic that you have. So if you want to dive a little bit deeper into the courses that they have pulled and chosen, you can also click on these top lists up here at the top, which is nice. But let's say I want to click on a course that's of interest to me and I find communication skills by Mind Channel. So what I need to do is just click on this link here. This will take me to the course itself. I can actually demo the course. It will take me through a couple of minutes just to give me a feel for it to see if it's relevant to my employees. If I do find that it's relevant, all I would need you to do is send me the name of the course and who it's from. So in this case, it would be communication skills from Mind Channel. You would send that to me in an email. You would let me know if you would like that to be required or optional for your group, and tell me which group or individuals to assign it to. So that's all you really need to do with Open Sesame, and that's all there is to it. Now I just want to go back to the Learning and Development page. Let's now go to and click on TalentLMS. So I'm going to come up here at the link and click on TalentLMS to get access here. So one thing to note before we get into the manager role and all its functionality, I just want to cover a couple of things here. So our goal with learning and development is really to provide the right amount of training to our employees so that they can best perform their role. We are looking to you as managers to help us drive this effort forward because you have the right knowledge of the needs of your team and your employees. So we are looking to stay clear of the training fatigue and assigning just a bunch of courses that people are not going to need. So in order to help us perform the manager role effectively within TalentLMS, I do ask that you reference the learning path guidelines that I sent you in an email. Just look over that before you start to operate with the manager role within the system. So as a manager within TalentLMS, what you can do is you can pull reports on any user, course, or group within the system. You can create a group that you can then manage. And thirdly, you can assign courses or what we call learning paths to either individuals or your groups. Now you can perform each of these in different roles, and I'm going to show you here in a second on how to do that. But first, what will happen is when you log into the system, you will always by default log in as a learner. So if you come up here, you'll see my name. It shows that I'm in learner mode. This is probably what you were used to by this point of taking a look at your learner dashboard, and you can access that at any time. But let's say, let's look at the administrator role and what I can do in the administrator role here. I would be able to perform one function in the administrator role, and that is really to pull reports. I can pull reports on any user down here, any course, or any group within the system. So let's start with users. So if I want to pull a report on one of my employees, I would just click on users here. This will give you a database of all the users that we have currently within TalentLMS. This includes all employees and all consultants. So let's say I want to pull a report on myself, actually. Okay, so I'm right there. What I would need to do is click on the bars here under options. This will pull up my individual report. Down below, this will show you my progress. You can just kind of get a brief overview based on the infographics. But the two tabs I really want to focus on here are overview up at the top and then courses right here. So overview will always just give you an overview of how it's looking, but let me click on courses. So courses, this will tell me how many courses that I have, all the courses that I have assigned to me, what is my progress with these courses, when they were enrolled, if that matters to you, the completion date, which will probably matter to you. I can also categorize these by clicking on by course. It'll show it in alphabetical order. Progress, it'll show me which courses are completed first, which are in progress here, and which courses are not started. Normally, people will have more than one page of courses, so if I want to search, again, I can always come down here and tab over, and this will show me all the courses that I have assigned, or that person has assigned. So don't necessarily need to worry about SCORM or certifications. I would just ignore those at this point. They're irrelevant. Same thing with infographic. I encourage you all to play within the system once you get an idea of it, but I really just want to focus on the key functions that you're going to need to know and use. So basically that's really just overview and courses. So let's go back to overview here. Let's say that I want to pull a report in Excel and share that with somebody on an individual or an employee. I can simply just click here. This will export the Excel, and then I would click here and it would actually bring it up. So again, it'll tell me all the courses that I have. It'll list them here, when I was enrolled, the status, the completion date, all in one spreadsheet. So that's basically how that looks and how the reports look. One thing to note is that if I actually want to have this scheduled to be sent to me on a regular basis, all I would have to do is come over to this arrow here. I can click on the arrow to the right as such, and then I would just click schedule here. So one thing I can do is this will tell me how frequently I would like it to be sent. So let's say I want to have it sent every 2 weeks. Mondays sound like a great day for me. Of course, I can select here. If I actually schedule this right now, it will only send to ECC admin. So just be aware of that. If you want it to be sent to you directly, what you're going to need to do is create a custom recipient. So let's say I want to have it sent to my email directly. So I would type in Natalie or nmattern@ecc.net. Oops. Here's the other thing to remember is that we don't want to use commas or semicolons, but let's say I want to include another individual in this, such as my boss, Lynn Sweat. If I wanted to do that, all I would have to do is click space in between and then type his email in there as well. So now that you have two emails in here, just separated by a space, nothing else in between, I would then click schedule. Now you can do this with all the Excel exports in users and courses and within groups. So this applies to each, but I'll only show it to you once. All right, so we're going to get rid of that. You will be able to schedule, and then it will be listed as schedule. So anytime I want to go back to my home page, back to my admin home, all I have to do is come up here up to the top and click on home here, and it will take me right back where I started. Again, don't necessarily need to worry about this over here, but I just want to call it out now that it's in view for you. This just gives you an overview of the total progress of how TalentLMS is running in terms of all active users, all courses. It's just kind of an interesting infographic if you want to take a look at. Again, not necessary. What I just really want to focus on is users, courses, and groups. So let's go to courses next. So when I click on courses, this gives me a database of all the courses that we have within the TalentLMS system. So you can access any of them here. Again, this is just to pull reports, not to assign courses to people. We'll cover that later. But let's say I want to pull a report on a recent course that we did with the SSHO, so heat stress. Okay, so if I want to pull the required course report on heat stress, all I would have to do again is click on these bars here and pull my report. So what will happen is I click on the report, it will show me on the overview, again, just infographics on the overview of assigned learners, how many people have completed, the instructor, which will always be ECC admin. If you have assigned a specific quiz to this course, this will be listed here. Training time, it's sometimes relevant, sometimes not, but you have that as an option there. Again, if you want to pull a report, you can do so by clicking on Export in Excel, and I'm just going to show you how this looks. Okay, so you've got the people who are actually enrolled in the course. You've got their emails in case that you want to send them an email reminder to complete. You'll show who all is completed, who all hasn't completed, the completion date, and the actual average score of how they scored on the quiz. So again, too, you have tests. If you have the test, it'll just kind of give you an overview of who've completed it, who passed, and the average score here. I wouldn't necessarily worry about SCORM, surveys, or assignments or timelines. Those are irrelevant in this case, just the overview and the tests. Sometimes you will have classes that don't have quizzes or tests, then that will not be listed there. I just wanted to show you as an example for those courses that do have assigned quizzes. Again, if you want to schedule the course, the report to be sent to you on a regular basis, you can click on this icon here over to the right and click schedule. Same thing, just make sure you type in your email so that it gets sent to your email and not ECC admin. Okay, so another thing I want to mention is users. So similar to how you saw in the user group, this will show you all the users that have been assigned this course. Again, you can tab over to do alphabetically. This will show you who all is a learner over here by the blue bar. This will show you however many people who have completed it. Again, you can just sort it in different ways. That's what the tabs are up at the top. This will tell you their scores on the quiz that it was assigned to the quiz, or I'm sorry, the quiz that was assigned to the course, their completion date, and their time. Let's say that I want to, if I want to take a look and see who hasn't completed, this will tell me people who have not started it as of yet. Then I can go in and send them emails to complete. So that's kind of how that works for users. The next tab over is tests. So again, if you have assigned a test with the course, this will pop up. This will just give you the basic overview and average of the data that you need for that quiz. Don't necessarily need to worry about timeline. If you don't have a quiz associated with the course, then the tests will not currently be there. Again, if you want to go back to home, you click here, but that is how you pull a course report. Finally, in the administrator role, you can pull group reports. So you will either be assigned a group or you can create your own groups depending on whether or not you are a department head or a regular manager. If you are a department head, you will already have an assigned group to you. If you're just a manager, then you can actually create your team or cross-functional teams, which I'll show you how to do in the administrator role, but that is to come later. So let's say this will also, when you click on groups, this will give you all the groups that have been created within the system. So let's say I want to find a report on project controls. I've been working with project controls quite a bit. Oops. Project controls, here we go. Okay, so in order to pull a report on project controls, again, I would click under options, the bars here for reports. This will give me the overview, how many active users I have in there, how many assigned courses, how many completed courses, just kind of an interesting just an overview of what the activity looks like. Again, if I want to export a report in Excel, I can do that. And this will how it will show up. So again, it'll show me all the people who are listed within the course or within the group and all their assigned courses. So if you see people with their first name, last name listed many times, it's going to just naturally pull all the courses that they have been assigned. It's just how the system reads it. If you want to take a look at the courses, this will tell you all the courses that you have assigned the group specifically, how many assigned learners, how many completed learners, and so forth. This tab will give you how many users there are, their emails, all the information that assigned courses, completed courses, etc. Timeline, only if you're interested, it just really tells you the date that that's completed. But I don't necessarily, again, worry about timeline. It's just there if you actually need it. Okay, so that covers that. So one thing I want to mention too is if you, when you pull a report on a group, it will only pull the courses, a report on the courses that are assigned to those particular individuals in your group. It won't pull all the courses that are assigned to the individuals in your group, just the ones that are assigned to your group. So if you do want just to see what your employees are taking, what they have assigned themselves, courses to themselves, you can always request an additional custom report to be made by just sending me an email and telling me, hey, here are the people in my team. I would like to see all the courses that have been assigned to them in their learner dashboard, and I will be able to send you those custom reports. Otherwise, if you just want to pull a report on your groups and the courses within your group that you've assigned, that's where you can do that here. So going back to overview, let's move on to the users tab. Again, it's going to tell you the same thing, but these are all the users that are currently within the project controls team. Also, if you want to see the courses that have been assigned to this group, you can click on courses. These are all the courses that have been assigned to this particular group. And then timeline, again, I wouldn't necessarily need to worry about that. And if you want to go back to home, again, just click on home here. And that pretty much sums up the administrator role within the manager role as a whole. And now next I'd like to go through the instructor role. So administrator role is for pulling reports. Instructor role is really about creating groups. So when you're in the instructor role here, one thing I just want to take a note of is don't worry about courses. We couldn't necessarily remove this from the platform. It's not something that you're going to worry about, because if you do want to create a course and manage a course, you need to come through me, ECC admin, to create a course. I'm going to talk about how to go about that here in a second. But first, what I'd like to do is talk about how to set up your groups. So in order to do that, what you want to do is just click on groups here. Some of you who are department heads will already have a group assigned to you, but for those of you who do not have a group, if you want to create a cross-functional group or your team to set up a learning path, just click on Add Group up here. All you will need to do is give it a name, so Test 2 Group. You can give it a description if you'd like, but not necessary, and just click Add Group here. So if I want, my next step is to add individuals to my group. So let's say this will give me a list of everybody in the company, but let's say I want to bring in, Tiffany, part of my group, and I want to bring in Kate. So here I've got my group here. Again, click it back on users. How this will show up is if once somebody is in my group, I click on the plus sign that person will be in my group. They will show up in this yellow box here called group member, and they will show up to the top. Having other people here does not mean that they're in the group. Only those individuals with the group member next to their name will show that they're in the group. Okay, so that's how you add users. Now let's go to courses. So let's say I want to assign a group of courses as a learning path to those users within my group. So I can come here. This will give me all of the courses that are currently in TalentLMS in the database. So one thing I want to kind of walk through here before I have you all assigning courses to people and your employees is there are two different types of courses in the system. There are required courses and there are optional courses. Required courses are assigned to the categories that are level 1 priority and level 2 required. The third is optional, and they're assigned to the optional categories. So that's kind of how the system is set up. So if you want to assign a required course to your group, you have to be mindful of how the system is set up. So one of the things to determine whether a course is required or optional is by taking a look at the title. So if the title has REQ in caps in front of the title, it means that it's required. If it does not have an REQ in front of the title, it means that it's optional. You can also see this listed by course here and category. So again, we've got the 3 levels of how these courses are categorized. Level 2 is required. You'll see that there. This obviously is an optional course. So however they're assigned, if you click on the plus link here that can assign those courses there, it will show up accordingly as either required or optional based on that criteria. So let's say that I want to take a look to see all the required courses within the system that are currently there. I want to schedule some required courses for my group. All I would need to do is come to the search bar at the bottom and type in all caps REQ space dash. Now, sometimes search is a little bit finicky. That's why I say REQ space dash, because if you do REQ dash, it sometimes doesn't read it effectively. So REQ space dash. This will give you all of the required courses within the system that you can take a look at. So let's say I want to give these people, assign these people in my group the required bribery act. In order to do that, I would just click on the plus button here. This will show up as a course. It is assigned as my group member. That's how I know it is assigned. Let's do export controls here as well. And maybe I want to throw in an optional course in my group on communication. If I can find that. Okay, so communication skills, let's just add that to my group as well. Again, it's under the category optional, but we'll do that anyways. So there is a two-step process here. Just because I've assigned these courses, if I want to take a look at the courses that have been assigned, I can come back to users here. This will show me that I have 0 out of 3 courses assigned to me as the owner. Some of these people already have courses assigned in my group, but in order to make sure that I have 3 out of 3 courses that are assigned, what I need to do is come up to Mass Actions and then click Enroll Users in Group Courses. So I do want to enroll all users in group courses. That means that they currently now have courses assigned to them within the courses that I've selected here. So again, they've got the required bribery act, communication skills, and required export controls. So it's just keep in mind that you have to perform anytime you add a course into your group, or if a new user comes on, you will have to come up here to the users tab and then enroll users in group courses. Just be mindful of that you will have to do that manually. It will not automatically add those courses and enroll those users that you select or bring into your group at a later time. You have to do those manually. So just to show you an example of this, I'm going to come here to courses. Let's do required code of ethics here. I assign a course, an additional course that I want my users to take. I come to users here. Again, I only have 3 out of 4 for Kate. It looks like Tiffany already has that assigned to her. But if I want to get everybody in the group that has 4 out of 4, I would come up to Mass Actions and enroll users in courses. So that's how that's done on the course side. Let's say if I have a new user that I want to include, let's say that I want to get Hero into this group. He already has 1 out of 4 courses assigned, but let's say I come back to users here. I would still need to perform the Mass Actions and enroll users in all groups. Then his profile will then change and it would update his learner dashboard. So again, just to be aware, it's a 2-step process. Don't necessarily need to worry about files, but that's really how groups work and how you manage groups. So once a group is created, then again, if you go up to that admin role and change to admin, you can then pull a report on your groups here. So let's go back to the instructor role. That pretty much sums up the instructor role for the groups, how to manage groups. Again, if you do have any requests for courses that you would like to create and you can't find anything that you're looking for in terms of assigning your people courses, just make sure that you request the course that you would like. You can go to Open Sesame, take a look at their catalog. Again, all I would need to know is if the course needs to be required or optional, and who it needs to be assigned to, which groups and which individuals. So that pretty much sums up everything that you can do within the manager role. Again, if I want to switch down to learner role so that I can actually take the courses that have been assigned to me, I can do that here. The other thing is if you'd like for a specific category to be developed that matches with your team. So let's say, right, I've got level 2 required. This is general, all courses here that are general across the board. But let's say that I have a required project controls team that I'd like to create. Just again, request that category from me and I will get that set up. If you have any questions at this point, again, just reach out to me directly in mattern@ecc.net or learning@ecc.net. And I hope that you enjoyed this today and it gives you everything that you need. Thank you very much for your time.